Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, from the sunny Caribbean, you are watching What You Need.
Boxing as a sport has evolved. Boxing as a sport has evolved. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a fan. But when your logic starts to get skewed to the point where if somebody asks you a question, you can't answer them, you can't present your logical point of view, then fandom has carried you far away from reality. Now, I've been accused of being someone like that, someone with fandom, but as far as I can see, so far I still use logic. I still use reasoning, and I still borrow from facts. So I have to be at least somewhere along the line of reality still. Because if I'm still borrowing facts, and I know they're facts because they don't come from me, then I'm still somewhere along the lines of reality. But, you know, many channels have talked about this, so I will not go into too much detail on that. Suffice it to say, I realize some people are hurt for some reason or the other that I'm talking about maybe a particular fighter like Floyd Mayweather, and I talk about him a lot. I have no problem talking about him. I also am not very bashful or shy about saying that he's the best ever, and that he's not just the best of this era or the greatest of this era, but he's the best of all time. And I made a very clear statement that I thought Sugar Ray Robinson was the best of all time, and Floyd's career is over, and I believe he is the best of all time, and I don't actually mince words with that. Now, this channel, for those of you who are listening to it, is not based on popularity. As you know, I have a series going on, Set the Record Straight, in which there are very popular things circulating which are not true. So I'm not here to try to be someone who's popular. I'm not trying to be that guy. What I'm trying to do is share with you the knowledge that I know on boxing and from those circulating in boxing. So let's get on to boxing. In boxing, it's not so much about the power that you wield in your fist, as much as it is about the placement of what you are to throw and hit. Boxing is not so much about the power in your fist, but the placement where you are to hit. Oscar De La Hoya said about the shot that Bernard Hopkins hit him with, a perfect liver shot, that he really placed the shot very well. Now, he didn't only place it well, but his timing of the shot. He hit Oscar at a time when Oscar was not ready to protect himself against such a shot. Not just by his protection with his elbow, but protection with his body, being able to brace the shot. Boxing is counterintuitive. It's more about preparation. It's more about getting your opponent when they least expect it. Bernard Hopkins said this. He said, with throwing the right, it's not about trying to think about throwing it, but throwing the right. Because it's not about the power of the shot. It's about hitting your opponent when they're not prepared to protect themselves or brace themselves from the shot. Here's another pointer that's counterintuitive. A lot of knockouts, especially sudden knockouts, don't come from long looping shots, but from short chopping shots. Because the short chopping shots are not seen, so the boxer can't prepare for them. And they come at an angle which the boxer wasn't ready for and prepared to brace. I'll give you one more nugget. Boxing as a sport has more to do with dancing than it has to do with punching. Now, it's strange to say that. You've heard of the dance of death. You've heard of warriors who danced. You know, the Native Americans, they would dance around a fire or a sacred place before going to war. Because a series of movements is considered, especially orchestrated movements, is considered dancing. You see actors who are good dancers, they're able to choreograph fight scenes very well in fights on screen. And someone who can dance and move their body well and has proper control of their body are generally pretty good martial artists as well. So I wanted to use these different quotes I've heard from actually people in the sport of boxing. And I myself align with these quotes. Footwork is very important in the sport of boxing. Just imagine if for a minute your hip gave out and you couldn't walk. Does it matter that you pumped all those weights with your upper body? I remember getting a knee injury and it damaged my hip and then it damaged my next knee. I was a sprinter. And it totally threw off my equilibrium. I had no balance. I was not able to do anything. I lost my power. All of the power a boxer has comes from his feet and his hips. It's translated into his torso and his arms. Your feet are very important in the sport of boxing. And footwork is key, very much key, to how a boxer wins any fight. I don't care what style they have. You guys have a great one.